The aim was to design a car for the pleasure of driving, like riding a motorbike immersed in the environment, enjoying the pleasure of driving in your surroundings.
The briefing by Mr. Dallara was very simple. I would like to take this car, drive through the Chisa Pass, and then eat some fish on Palmaria Island.
Then, on the way back from Locanda Lorena restaurant, if the racetrack is open, do a couple of laps. So basically a car that can also be used on the track. The car was built so that people could drive it like they used to and not full of electronics telling you what to do. I will be the one driving the car. Let it tell me it's time to brake, but I will do the braking.
The Dallara Stradale is a car that aims to combine what we are as a company with a purely racing DNA that strives to produce race cars. It is basically a car that brings to the road the joy of the track, of the emotions experienced on the track.
We have packed into this car all the technologies we have developed over the years and are continuing to develop. From pre-preg autoclave as in Formula One to RTM, resin transfer molding, to forged carbon, to long fiber to short fiber.
We also added the experience gained over many years of activity. Over 50 years we have learned to make our products safe as well as high performing, and that's how this car was born.
The Dallara Stradale has a survival cell, namely a carbon monocoque, which protects the passenger and driver up to the shoulders, very much like in formula cars. It's mechanically stable and it has neutral handling because of the setup we have developed. Nevertheless, even in extreme conditions, when the car is over the mechanical limit, it is still equipped with two main safety systems, ABS for braking and stability with ESP.
Colin Chapman managed to do everything the easy way, looking for lightness and aerodynamics.
We conducted an experiment, putting designers and aerodynamic technicians together in one room with shapes yet to be decided. The conflicting views of these two professions were resolved at a certain point. After a month, the designer was concerned with shapes designed for aerodynamics, and the aerodynamic technicians sought performance by designing shapes that were also beautiful.
I also had a special role, door tester. Occasionally there's someone who wonders how it's possible to build a car without doors. If I was able to manage it at 80, then anyone can do it.
The Dallara Stradale does not have doors by choice. This allows us to achieve maximum occupant protection, very high torsional stiffness, at the lowest possible weight. The canopy is a synthesis of form and function, but mostly function. Its rounded design is an aerodynamically neutral shape that also aims not to interfere with the rear wing, which is a key part of aerodynamic performance. As with the cars at Le Mans, in endurance racing, visibility is critical, at night or in the rain. In the same way, that shape aims to provide visibility in all directions. It is the first and only car in the world to have a polycarbonate windshield.
We wanted a car that would allow movement without putting up much air resistance, partly to save fuel, and that is an advantage. But we had this desire for a fast car that could be driven on the track, so a lot of vertical load. This is the highly significant outcome we have achieved that allows you to have fun when you go out on the track.
The Dallara Stradale is a weight-centric and aerocentric car, but unexpectedly it becomes engine-centric, a transverse-mounted four-cylinder engine that allows for the diffuser for performance.
All of this works if it's all very light, because if it's light, it allows for greater acceleration and for higher cornering speeds. Without this, you don't have the pleasure of driving the car. With a heavy vehicle, you avoid hairpin bends because it's hard to drive when it hops over potholes.
One of the challenges in designing the Dallara Stradale was to find the synthesis between the two souls in Mr. Dallara's brief, the track soul and the road soul.
I was driving around with my granddaughter in a car without a windshield, exactly as it should be, the way it was conceived. My granddaughter said, "This is great, but the helmet prevents us from seeing each other's faces."
A car that begins as a barchetta, but then you can add the glass, add the roof, add the wing. You can fit tires with higher or lower performance. You can change the power, and you can transform the car even by yourself in the garage. This is the concept that we were inspired by, which eventually led us to the creation of a vehicle which is actually a combination of three cars. In order to truly understand these configurations, you must come to Varano and experience them for yourself. We tried to take this type of experience all over the world through a network of ambassadors that are able to configure the car in the same way we do it. It also enables us to guarantee service to the customers if they ever need any maintenance or modifications to the vehicle, which very often grows along with its owner.
If you want to travel like you're on a motorcycle or a bicycle, you take everything off and go back to what the original idea is, with the understanding that if there's someone with you, it's better not to impose on them your way of experiencing the car.
From its earliest conception, the Dallara Stradale had to have all the basic ingredients in order to be as close to a track car as possible in all aspects. In contrast, the Dallara EXP was designed specifically for the track, its natural habitat.
This has allowed us to develop kits that I myself can mount on my Stradale, so that I can go out onto the track and look for performance. This is thanks to the development of the EXP.
The Aero Experience track kit includes what we call the Flix at the front of the nose, the louver above the front wheel passage, and the biplane rear wing. The track setup kit introduces new shock absorbers and springs to increase responsiveness and improve the car's racing performance. The pit stop track kit introduces the single nut wheel and tire jacks that can raise the car and thereby allow for easy tire changes and quick access to certain parts of the car that are critical to the speed of operation on the track.
There was one test that we could not do. Only the people who bought the car could give us an answer. Is it the way we wanted it? Is it really a car that is easy to drive? A car that you would feel like driving in your spare time, in good weather? They gave us the answer, not so much because they bought it, but mostly because they enjoy driving it. This means we have hit the mark.
I often ask myself, who would be the ideal Dallara Stradale buyer? Definitely a curious person who wants to test their limits, who wants to constantly improve. Usually it is a person who already has other sports cars and has already tried going out onto the track, but also those who have never been on the track and want to get into this world with the goal of learning.
This isn't a car for everyday use, but only when you really feel like driving. It's the only one I enjoy. When I drive my usual car, I don't have fun, but when I drive this one, it's fun.
We create different kinds of experiences to capture a sense of community. The first experience that comes to mind is the driving course, where you learn from your mistakes. Then the various racetrack days that we have organized both in Italy and in Europe, together with other customers who are now our friends and want to share this experience at the world's best racetracks, where the most successful drivers compete. Finally, the journey, as our engineer, Mr. Dallara, described it, consists of us discussing the sensations of the experience, the beauty of being together, and discovering new cultures.
When we suggest taking a drive all together and after 2 hours there is no longer a single seat available, it means that everyone has changed their schedule to share the experience. This means it is exactly the car we aimed for.
We are rediscovering a new world where we can share this experience, even at home, in the tranquility of an esports video game. This means the opportunity to compete on the track, and then, with the same friends, compete virtually as well. Then, in real life, they will discover a product that is the same as what they experienced digitally. It is an honest car that transfers all the sensations you need to drive with ease, to learn, and to always get pleasure out of driving.
The driving experience then becomes purely analog, a complete connection without any filter, the sheer essence of speed and driving. We only put digital features in the telemetry like in race cars, telemetry that can help and improve the performance of the driver.
The response of the car is consistent with what you expected. You give a command to take a certain trajectory, to apply certain braking, and what you expect emerges without any help. The car is made like this, and it's not exactly trivial. We don't claim it is the best car in the world. It has its own personality, and this is what we aimed for. Some people could have found it difficult to drive, but actually, this did not happen at all. Everyone was fine. A car in which the main character is still the person who drives it.